Jesus was standing on a hill. Oh, Jerusalem looks so pretty! But he started crying very hard for all the people in that great city. He cried because he knew how much God loved them so. But every time God tried to get their attention, they just kept telling him the answer no. More than anything, he wanted to take care of the Jews that he called his chosen. But the Jews continued to do evil things, as though their hearts had become frozen. So God had to respect their wishes. He removed his protection from their lives. With Satan in full control of them now, even husbands were mean to their wives. People became jealous, mean, and suspicious. They didn't even trust their own neighbor. It was not a safe place to live anymore. They couldn't even control their own behavior. Beautiful Jerusalem would be destroyed, Jesus warned his disciples some time before. But that sounded so crazy for them to hear. After all, it was a city they did adore. Jesus warned them to know the signs, and when the Christians needed to run away, don't go back for anything in your house, and not for one moment must you delay. It was about 40 years later that Jesus' words did come true. The Romans surrounded the city, but attack it they did not do. God was controlling what was happening. This was the time for the Christians to flee. As the Jews began running after the Romans, all the Christians made it out of there safely. The Romans went back sometime later, trying to get the Jews to surrender. People were killed, tortured, and crucified. This was no longer a place of splendor. Even Titus, the leader of the Romans, looked at the scene with such great fear. He tried hard to get the Jews to surrender, but their pride they held on to so dear. Finally, things had gotten too out of control. Titus said that the temple would be overtaken, but even he didn't want it to be destroyed, yet the Jews did not seem to be shaken. Titus' commands were ignored, and when he went to bed that night, the Jews snuck out of the temple to attack the people who were in their sight. Through all the fighting taking place, someone threw a piece of burning wood. It lit up the temple immediately and burned the whole place down for good. Some onlookers stared in horror, while others scowled with disgust as they watched their beautiful Jerusalem in flames consuming many unjust. The very mighty city and temple were destroyed unto the ground. Not one stone laid upon another was there anywhere to be found. God has given them into my hand, Titus, staring in amazement, had declared. No engine, no matter how strong, would have been able to compare. In the time that followed this horrible event, people became homeless or sold as slaves. Some were made the entertainment for the night, while others went painfully to their graves. This is a true story that happened, and it is a very sad one indeed. Let us seriously think about our decisions and learn lessons we are warned to heed. We don't know how much we owe to God for all the protection and peace we enjoy. But if we keep our hearts from our loving God, we too will eventually be destroyed. When Jesus was talking to his disciples, he was talking about then and also now. A time of trouble soon will come upon us all, but a way of escape for his people God will allow. Friends, Jesus loves you so much, and he has done everything in his power to save you, protect you, and keep you. Will you choose him as your king this hour?